Do you guys like rose? Do you love to wear rose in fragrances? Well, I'm back to tell you about 3 of the latest and greatest rose fragrances that I have been wearing lately that I really love. And those are Frederic Malle's Rose and Cuir, Diptyque's Eau Capitale, Tom Ford's Rose Prick. I'll tell you all about these 3 coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. That's right, today we're talking about rose fragrances, and I love rose in fragrances. And I feel like rose kind of goes out of style, comes back in style, goes back out of style, comes back in style, and now it's in style because these 3 were recently launched within the last 3-4 months. Rose and Cuir was late last year, Eau Capitale was late January, and I think this was like late January or early February as well. So we're going to find out about these, but before we do that, if this is your first time landing on my channel and you still haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So do you guys like rose? Let me ask you that question again. Are you into the idea of wearing rose, men or women? I'm asking everyone, do you like the smell of roses? I feel like roses are some of my favorite smells ever. A lot of roses that you get to buy and put in your home have absolutely no smell whatsoever, but the ones that are cut from a garden and end up smelling so beautiful, and these are like really concentrated rose smells, and I love rose. I love the idea of rose because it smells great, plus some kind of roses you can also consume, and I love eating rose jam and drinking rose water and things like that. So I just love the idea of roses, period, and they just have a fantastic smell, and I feel like roses are the king of flowers. I feel like they're amazing gifts for us from nature. So we're going to talk about Frederic Malle's first. It's Rose and Cuir, the most expensive out of all 3 that, well, no, I shouldn't say that. I feel like the most expensive would be the Tom Ford Rose Prick if you buy the 50 ml bottle, which is 50 ml and a 250 ml. But here, I think this is the second most expensive. You'll have to factor in the math. So this is 100 ml for $330. They do have a 50 ml, they have a 30 ml, and they also have a 10 ml, so I noticed. So you can get those smaller sizes, but I feel like the best value is the 100 ml bottle. So 100 ml bottle for $330, it's EDP concentration obviously, and this one has notes of Timut, pepper, Geranium, Bourbon, Casis, Vetiver, Cedar, leather, Isobutyl, Quinoline, whatever that is. I didn't really look up that note, but I wanted to tell you about this one because it's very leathery, of course, but it's a green leather to me. It's a very herbal and aromatic leather. And the rose accord, I guess it's not an, I shouldn't say the rose accord. I guess they're making or getting a rose accord from the geranium note in here. So basically, whatever notes they have together, it's giving you a rose-like smell. But basically, you're smelling geranium. So if you like that sort of thing, you might check it out because this one doesn't really smell like roses like the other 2, but then again it does, if that makes sense. So it's almost like you're wondering if that rose is ever going to develop. It's almost like you're smelling like a very small rose that's not even bloomed yet because everything around it is covered in like this almost like a garden green smell, slightly covered in soil because there's a bit of a dirty smell, but not necessarily as in dirty weird, but dirty earthy dirty, that kind of smell, which is really unique for me. This one is very unique. But it's also very long lasting and very aromatic. So it does have that very aromatic and green herbal kind of quality. It's just how I experience this one. It's so aromatic and green that, as I said, the leather comes off like it's green leather as well. So I don't know if you like the idea of leather, the smell of it, but it doesn't necessarily smell green, but here it does. So the overall experience is a very green experience. But it's also very spicy. You've got lots of spices in here because, geranium kind of goes peppery to me. And I feel like you're not only getting the rose accord here with the geranium, you're also getting some peppery accords. You just put it in your nose and you can kind of get to like the spices come through a little bit. Of course, it's very aromatic, as I said, and lots of woods, lots of woody notes here. It's just very full of woods. But in the end, you're getting a very interesting rose. Not necessarily a full bloom rose, not a jammy rose. It's actually not even like a rose that's bloomed. It's just like a very green. I've smelled the little buds that haven't even opened up yet. You kind of get that smell here with this one. So it's like a very, very young rose that hasn't even like developed any smell or anything, but it's in the back, it's trying to come out. Very, very unique fragrance, but I love it. I love the greenness in this one, and the way the greenness just interacts with the leather and that geranium, which gives us the overall rosy experience. Anyway, Rose and Cuir, wonderful release created by Jean-Claude Elena. It's right on the label right there. If you guys haven't tried this one, do try it. And as I said, they do sell 10 ml bottles. You can always go buy those or get a decant to find out about it. One more thing I want to mention about this one. The vetiver in here is so prominent. If you like vetiver and slightly mixed with rose, that's another reason why you might like this. It's a very, very masculine rose. And again, it's not like a rose. It doesn't act like a real rose. It's just a very aromatic geranium rose. Anyway, very, very unique fragrance, Rose and Cuir from Frederic Malle. And now this next one I'm obsessed with as far as the smell goes, and I love the dry down and I love the trail it leaves. It's phenomenal. This is Diptyque Eau Capitale, this one right here. So this one retails for $180 for 75 ml, and that's the largest size they have. They don't have larger sizes, I think. This one only comes in an EDP. The black bottles like this are EDP. The clear bottles are the EDT Eau de Toilettes. This is Eau de Parfum. This one is rose, patchouli, pink pepper, bergamot. I forgot to mention the style of fragrance this is. It's considered a leather. In the end, it's a leather. This one's a Chypre floral. The next two are Chypre florals, this one and the rose prick. But out of the two, I prefer this one a lot more, and the way it wears on me, it's just phenomenal. Now, those of you that know me have probably spoken a lot about Tempo from Diptyque. So this one reminds me of Tempo, but you have Tempo with a little bit of a spiciness added in with that pink pepper note in here, but lots of rose. So imagine the rose and the pink pepper and the patchouli all together is what you're having. And phenomenal trail. Oh my God. I wear it, and then I wash my hands or even some parts of my body, and whatever that comes out of that freshly washed hands or arms or whatever, the remaining the remaining parts of it smells phenomenal. It's the same experience. The dry down is phenomenal. Like, I wear a shirt and I hang it up, and then the next day I'm going to put it in the wash or something. I take it, that whiff of that smell is phenomenal. Just whatever the dry down here is, it's amazing. And sadly, the notes are not broken down in the top and heart and base, so I really don't know what's going on, but I feel like it's the patchouli that does it for me. It's just amazing that way. The patchouli is phenomenal, and I feel like the patchouli is very green, and that's why it reminds me of Tempo, because Tempo is a very, very green patchouli, and that's what this one reminds me of. Just imagine that patchouli from Tempo with lots of rose, and the rose here is definitely jammy. It's like a real rose. You experience it. It's a full-on in-your-face, that big bloomed, very, very pungent and sweet rose smell. What a release this is. This smells so good. I just love the dry down. I love the trail I leave behind, because I can walk in my cloud and what I'm smelling is just really, really exciting. And when I wear fragrances like that, that's what really excites me and makes me want to talk about it, because in the end, it's the experience you have with a fragrance that I want to talk about. And this experience, this wearing experience for Eau Capitale is phenomenal. Out of the three as a wearing experience, this one's phenomenal. But I'm equally in love with both of these, because both of them, even though they're completely different fragrances, I'm obsessed with. Both potent. I don't experience that dry down and the cloud or the sillage with this one as I do with this one. This one seems a slightly bit reserved, but this one blooms and opens up and just screams a little bit. So this one's phenomenal. But both of them I love equally for what they are as far as smells goes. So anyway, this is Diptyque Eau Capitale. Also check out Tempo. I should do a comparison video between these two fragrances, but man, I think this is going to be solid for warmer days. Just wait until we are able to go outside and we can, start running around with masks on, of course, and just get yourself a decant of this or something, or sample, and wear it outside with a little bit of you know, heat from your body, it's going to be amped up, and this is going to bloom like there's no tomorrow. Anyway, Eau Capitale, wonderful, wonderful fragrance. I love the way this one smells. Anyway, last but not least, I thought to myself, you know what? I need to have a bottle of that pink rose prick. I mean, I love these bottles, so in the end I ended up getting one. It's rose prick. It's quite pricey. This one is considered a Chypre floral as well as this one. They're completely, well, I don't know. Should I say they're completely different? No, they're both green roses, and I think that's pretty much stops there. This one, the rose is not so jammy as this one is. This one is a lot more syrupy than this one is. This one is a lot greener. Like the rose actually smells green, whereas the rose smelled green here. The rose doesn't smell green here, the actual perfume smells green, whereas here I'm smelling green roses. It doesn't smell like this, but just an overall green, younger rose rather than not bloomed, where this one is not bloomed. This one is bloomed, but it's not fully ripened with the smell, and that's what I get with this one. Although they claim that there's 3 kinds of roses here: Turkish rose, Bulgarian rose, and May rose. Really, really beautiful, smelly roses that I love. And this one also has patchouli and tonka bean, and then at the top it has Sichuan pepper and turmeric. So very spicy start. I'm gonna spray a little bit on this one on me because I have the least experience with this one. I like it, but it's very green. There's almost like a little bit of a carnation-y kind of thing happening down there as well. But for a 50 ml bottle, it's $3.35. As I said, it's the priciest out of all. This one is $3.30 for 100 ml. 50 ml of this one is $3.35. You're paying double for 100 ml pretty much. Or you can get the 250 ml, which is $8.60. Then it'll be the cheapest of them all. But still, it's a very, very pricey fragrance. Is it worth it? Only if you really love the idea. I think you should actually, if you like the idea of roses, you should probably get samples of all to test them out to see which is your favorite. Out of the 3, I am equally loving these 2. They're phenomenal, but they're completely different. More masculine here, less rose. Very, very, like I said, a young rose that's trying to scream, but it's not coming out. This one's definitely a jammy rose, but a very, very green perfume when you step outside of the rose in this fragrance. But then again, the Tom Ford, as I said, I'm a collector and I wanted this pink bottle. This one's definitely a tough one. I can't say go get a bottle. I mean, I'm recommending these 2 because I love them. I don't love the Tom Ford as much. I like it. I don't love it. The other thing about the Tom Ford Rose Prick is that it does remind me of something, and I cannot pinpoint what it is. I don't know what it is. It almost reminds me of Oha from Eau Capitale, but a little bit, and they're both considered Chypre florals anyway. Eau Capitale's Oha and also Tom Ford's Rose Prick. So there's some hints of it in that, from that fragrance to this one. So I feel like it's not a very original fragrance. But again, if you have the money and you love the bottle, it's definitely worth to have one of these next to your other bottles. But in the end, this is $8.60 plus tax, unless you're able to bring it from duty-free or something, which nobody's traveling right now, sadly. But that's my thoughts on Rose Prick. But I highly, highly recommend these 2. These are definitely in my style. I love them. They're completely different. I love this one for the rose. I love this one for the green, aromatic, herbal, spicy, vetiver, leathery rose. This one is just such a great sillage. It's amazing. So those are the things, reasons why I love these 3 roses. But in the end, I would pick for the first 2, as I said. Rose Prick is a toss-up. Get yourself a test, sample or something if you can, to see and test that fragrance if you like it. Anyway, those are my thoughts on these 3 fragrances. Guys, have you tried these 3 fragrances? What are your thoughts on these rose fragrances? And also let me know, do you enjoy rose in fragrances? Are you a fan of Frederic Malle, Diptyque, Tom Ford? Which of these is your favorite if you've tried all 3? Or if you haven't, which one have you been wanting to try? Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, do list below. Please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.